Hello, good morning, welcome. So this practice here today is a practice if you're feeling slow and heavy, and I recommend it as good medicine to help lift the spirits, generate a bit of heat, and let's have a look at our core. So when I talk about the core, I'm not just talking about the abs, the six pack that we all think about. I'm talking about our inner thighs, the muscles that run across the top of the thighs, the hip joints, the low back, and the belly. So for this practice, we're going to need a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a rolled up towel, a pillow, or even a hardback book. So find that space, make your way onto your back with your knees bent and the soles of your feet on the ground. And with whatever prop that you're going to use, have that close by. So make your way down onto your back, and with that plop, place it in between your inner thighs. And I want you here to really squeeze that block with your inner thighs. And when you're squeezing that block, you notice that your inner thighs start to wake up. So they start to tune on, and you feel their engagement. And you may notice as you're squeezing this block that you'll find that you could be clenching your jaw, or maybe furrowing your brow, or holding your breath. So keep the intensity of the squeeze, but see if you can relax those other areas. And then bring your hands to your low belly and release the intensity of your squeeze. And bring your awareness here to your breath. And see if you can visualize your breath going right down into your belly, your navel center. And as you exhale, get a sense of pressing gently your low back down onto the floor. Take a few more cycles of this breath. Nourishing full inhale, deep down into your navel center. And then a softening and a release and gentle pressing of your low back onto the floor. Now engage your inner thighs again, squeeze that block. And don't just pinch it, really squeeze the block and hold. Take your arms alongside your body and then lift the soles of your feet up so that your shins are parallel to the floor. Engage your feet. So point your toes up towards the ceiling, spread your toes, and take 3 full breaths here. Keep the intensity, the squeezing of the block in between your inner thighs. One more last full intake of breath. And then on your exhale, slowly release the soles of the feet to the floor. Bring your hands back to your low belly and begin that full, deep, nourishing intake of breath. As you exhale, allow your belly to relax, to soften, and draw your navel towards your spine. Take 2 more breaths like this. Inhale into the upper chest, feel the breath travelling down to your navel centre. And then as you exhale, your belly towards your spine, pressing gently your low back against the floor. Release your arms down by the side of your body. Squeeze that block again with your inner thighs. As you exhale, lift up your feet so that your shins are parallel. Engage your feet by spreading and flexing the toes. And then interlace your hands behind your head for support here. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift your head, your chest up. Have your chin slightly tucked and take 3 full breaths here. Keep squeezing the block. Nice full intakes of breath. And as you exhale, gently pressing your low back against the floor. Slowly lower the head, release your hands, release the soles of the feet to the mat. Bring your hands back to your low belly and take one full nourishing breath. Release your arms down by your side. As you exhale, squeeze that block with your inner thighs. Lift up the soles of the feet so that your shins are parallel. Palms can be facing up towards the ceiling, or your palms can be facing down. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, draw your knees away from your body. Take an inhale here. Exhale, dangle your toes down so they're almost touching the floor. Inhale, draw your knees back up. Exhale, knees in towards your chest. Inhale, knees draw away from you. Exhale, drop your toes so they're almost touching. Inhale, lift your toes up. Shins are parallel. Exhale, knees in towards the chest. 2 more like that. So, knees away from you. Draw your toes so that they're almost touching. Lift your shins up so they're parallel, and then draw your knees in. Last one. Knees away. Toes hover so they're almost touching. Shins are lifted back up so they're parallel, and then draw your knees in. Then lower the soles of the feet to the mat and bring your hands back to your belly. Take a nourishing breath here. Squeeze that block again. Feel the engagement of your inner thighs. And then lift up the soles of your feet so that your shins are parallel. Bring your hands so that they're resting on your knees. As you inhale, filling your chest, take your arms up over your head. Drop your toes, knees away, drop your toes so they're almost touching. As you exhale, knees come back up, hands to knees. Inhale, arms overhead, toes almost touching the floor. Hands to knees. Let's continue with this movement. Arms go overhead as the toes almost touch. Hands return back to the knees. Take your knees away, toes almost touch as the arms go up and over the head. Hands to knees again. Arms overhead, knees away, toes almost touch, hands to knees. Last 2. Arms overhead, toes almost touch. Draw your hands to your knees. Last 1. Arms overhead, draw your knees away, toes almost touch, hands to your knees. Lovely. Now remove the block from your inner thighs or your book, whatever prop you're using, and place the block in between your feet and squeeze the block with your feet here, and then extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Hands come onto your shins or towards your shins. As you inhale here, take your arms up over your head and lower your legs. Exhale, hands to shins, legs up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. Bend your knees, take the block, place the block over to the side. Place the soles of your feet to the floor, and this time take the soles of your feet wider than hip distance. Arms come out to the side, either in like a T shape, or you can have cactus arms depending on your space. Take a deep inhale here, right down to your navel center, and as you exhale, both knees fall over towards the right. Inhale, knees come back up to center. Exhale, both knees over towards the left. Keep going with this movement and just keeping your feet where they are, but notice that your feet are pivoting on the inner and outer edges. And one more either side, over towards the right. Inhale, come back to center, and once more as you exhale over to the left. Knees come back up to center, lift up your feet, squeeze your knees in towards your chest, roll over onto a side, and then push yourself up to a seat. When you come up to a seat, have your knees bent, pointing up towards the ceiling, and the soles of your feet down onto the mat. Take your hands behind you and come up onto your fingertips. Lean back and lift your chest up. Now keep your chest lifted here, but ground down through the palms of your hands. Maybe your hands rotate out a little bit. So press down through your hands, keeping your chest lifted. Take a deep inhale, lift your chest, lift your heart. As you exhale, draw your right knee in. And release. One more on the left side. Inhale to the upper chest, keep it lifted, exhale, left knee in. Lovely. Now we're going to try to lift both legs at the same time. And if this is too challenging, go back to lifting one knee and then the other. So keep your chest lifted, lean back, lift up both knees. In towards your chest. Draw your knees towards each other and imagine that you're squeezing that block again in your inner thighs. Keep your chest lifted, draw the knees in, squeeze the thighs so they come together. Engage the feet, lift up the toes towards the ceiling, spread the toes, keep the chest lifted. Take one more breath and then slowly release. Same thing but slight variation. Take your hands now to the back of your thighs where your hamstrings are. Lean back a bit, lifting your chest, so we're drawing our thighs towards our belly. As we're leaning back, we're lifting our chest. And then lift up the right foot. Draw that right knee in. Flex the foot, point it up towards the ceiling, point it down towards the floor. And release. Keep the chest lifted, leaning back, draw the left knee in towards the chest. Point the toes up towards the ceiling, towards your face, and then flex the toes away. Another breath, and then release. So we're going to lift up both legs. Again, if that's challenging, do one leg at a time. Keeping your chest lifted, lean back, lift up your heels first, and then lift up your toes. Take your legs out in front. You might release the back of your thighs and come into a boat shape. Keep your legs lifted, chest lifted. Take 3 breaths here. Lovely. Lower down, cross your legs. Come down into hands and knees into a tabletop position. Stack that your wrists are underneath your shoulders and that your knees are stacked underneath your hips. Spread your fingers reasonably wide, press down into your fingertips and then extend your right leg out long behind you. Toes are still on the mat. Have a nice long neutral spine, equal weight in both hands, and when you're ready, lift your right toes up. Engage that whole right leg. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bend that right knee in towards your belly, in towards your chest, and lift that right thigh up towards your belly. Don't round down, lift that thigh up. Take 2 breaths here. And then release the knee back to the mat. We'll do the same on the left side. Extend your left leg out long. Toes are curled on the floor. Find your equal weight in both hands. Neutral spine. When you're ready, lift up the left toes, engage that left leg. Point the toes down towards the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend that left knee, draw it in towards your belly, towards your chest, and lift that thigh up. We want height. Don't round down, keep pushing through your hands. Keep breathing. And then release that left knee down. Extend the right leg out long, toes are on the ground, and then extend the left leg out long, plank. Hold plank for 3 full breaths. And in plank we all have a tendency for our hips to go high. Keep your hips low, but lift your belly and your thighs. Lower the knees, lower your thighs, lower your belly, lower your chest. Uncurl your toes, hands are underneath your shoulders. Inhale here, come up to your baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up to your baby cobra. Gaze past your right shoulder. Exhale, release. Inhale, baby cobra. This time looking past your left shoulder. Exhale, release. Cross your forearms in front of you and rest your forehead down onto the back of your hand. And rock your pelvis here side to side. Now we're going to do Sphinx. We're going to have a slight variation to it. So draw your elbows, forearms are down onto the mat. Your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. And this is Sphinx pose. Chest is lifted and gaze down the center of your nose. Lovely. Take another full breath in your Sphinx. And then as you exhale, lift your belly up off the floor, lift your hips up, lift the tops of your thighs up. Hold this for a breath. And then slowly lower your thighs, lower your hips, lower your belly, Sphinx. Take a breath. Then lift up your belly, lift up your hips, lift the tops, just the tops of your thighs. And then slowly lower down, thighs, hips, belly. Last one, lift your belly, lift your hips, lift the tops of your thighs, knees stay down. Exhale, slowly lower the thighs, the hips, the belly. So for this Sphinx pose, I want you to cross your arms so that your right hand is on the bottom and your left hand rests on top of your right. And then rest your forehead on the back of your left hand. And I want you to imagine that your left hand is glued to your forehead. Take a breath here right into your belly. And then as you exhale, lift the right leg up and lift your head up, your chest. That hand is still stuck to the forehead. Take 2 breaths here. Point the right toes back. Keep your chest lifted, lifting up, and then slowly release down. Do that once more. Left hand, right leg. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lift. Keep breathing, keep your belly down, reaching back through that right leg, and slowly release. Switch your hands, so now that your right hand rests on top of your left, and your forehead to the back of your right hand. Same thing, but other side. Take a deep inhale. And then lift the left leg, head and chest. Hold it, point the left toes back. Keep your gaze if your eyes are open down the center of your nose, but lifting your heart up. And then slowly release. One more, left leg as the head and chest lifts. And slowly release. Slide your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders. Imagine here now your knees are glued to the mat. As you inhale, push up to all fours. As you exhale, send your hips back into child's pose. Keep active through your arms. So press down through your fingertips. Arms are straight, resting your head in between your arm bones. Legs are together. Belly rests down onto your thighs. forehead, chest down towards the floor. Take 2 breaths here. And visualize that your breath is going to your lumbar spine, filling with nourishment. And then your next inhale, look up in between your hands and come back onto all fours. Walk your hands slightly further out in front. Curl your toes under. And as you inhale, lift up the right leg. And then lift up the left leg, come into your plank again. Take a breath here in your plank. Then lower your right knee, lower your left knee. Lift your left knee, lift your right knee. Take a breath. Lower your left knee, lower your right knee. Twice more. Lift your right knee, reach back, lift your left knee, reach back, plank. Lower your right knee, lower your left. Last one, lift your left knee, lift your right knee, plank. Take 3 full breaths here in your plank. Pushing the mat, the floor away from you, reaching back through your heels, lifting your thighs, lifting your belly. And then slowly come down onto your knees, send your hips back towards your heels, come into that child's pose. Come up to sit on our heels here and make your way back onto your back again. So whatever creative fashion that feels good for you, come down onto your back. When you come down onto your back, extend your left leg out long, have your right knee bent, and hug your right knee in towards your chest. Now with your hands around our right knee, I don't want you to use your arms an awful lot. So just lightly hold on to that right knee, draw that right knee in, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, lift your head and your chest up. Take 2 breaths here. Keep your chin slightly tucked. And then slowly release the head. Release the hold of the right knee. Extend the right leg out long. Bend the left knee in. Again, holding on to the left knee very lightly. Extend that right leg out. Press the back of the right thigh down onto the floor. So we're keeping the right leg active. Take a deep inhale. When your exhale comes, lift your head, lift your chest. Keep drawing that left knee in, lifting your heart up. Take 2 breaths here. And then slowly release the head, release the left leg. So one more either side with a slight variation. Hold the right knee in. And this time lift your left heel so it's about 1 inch or 2 above the ground. Flex the left toes. So you're really pushing back through that left heel, pushing forward through that left heel. Remember, we're only holding lightly onto this knee, the right knee. Take an inhale. As we exhale, lift your head, lift your chest. Take 2 breaths here. Keep your chin slightly tucked. Lifting our heart up as we lightly draw that right knee in. Slowly release the head, release the left leg, let go of the right leg. Last one, other side. Draw the left knee in. Lightly hold on to it. Engage that right leg and lift the right heel about 1 inch or 2 up off the ground. Press the heel, the right heel away from you. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lift your head, lift your chest. Have your chin slightly tucked and take 2 full breaths. Slowly release the head, release the right leg, release the left leg. and allow the legs to roll out. Bring your hands back to your low belly and finish your practice here with 3 full nourishing belly breaths. You can stay here longer if you have the time. Otherwise, slowly bend one knee in, then the other. Wrap your arms around the front of your shins. Take a rock from side to side. Your choice. You can roll over onto a side and then gently push your way up. Or you can take hold of the back of your hamstrings, the back of your thighs, and rock and roll up the whole length of your spine to come up to a seat. When you come up to a seat of your choice, I invite you to bring your palms together, your fingertips lightly touch, thumbs against your sternum, and you may get a sense here of the beating of your own heart. Our hands are an extension of our heart. Take a deep inhale into your upper chest, and as you exhale, bow your head to your own heart. Give yourself gratitude for taking this time out and for allowing me to share this practice with you. Thank you. Namaste.